Hi, it's Gordon. I'm back again for the third session in the reno of our house with the Devard 8. And so here we go. Last time we were here, they were just doing the framing, and so it's kind of a wide open space with a bunch of sticks. You really didn't get an idea of what the finished house was going to look like. So now the drywall's in, sheetrock is up, you get a real sense of the space, what the rooms are going to look like, where the switches and the light fixtures and everything else, kind of what it's going to be like to live in the house. So this is a good point here. So before they can put the sheetrock up, they have to do all the trade work, the plumbing, the electrical, all the stuff that goes in the wall, right? So we spent a lot of time making sure everything was in the right place, because once you put the sheetrock on, it's harder to change it. So I think probably the biggest challenge is the fact that the architectural plan was drawn up by a different firm, and at the time they did the plan, they were focused on certain areas of the house that were going to have structural changes or whatever. And we had told them we wanted to have the whole electrical redone in the house. But they did not update any of the drawings for the other sections of the house as far as where the outlets were, where we wanted lights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when we moved from that architectural firm to Devard 8, the blueprints were not, shall I say, complete as far as electrical layout. So there was a lot of time just walking around the house saying, oh, we need a light fixture here, we need an outlet here, we need switches to control this. None of that was on the drawing. So there were some false starts as far as what switch should control which light and where the placement of the outlet should be, because maybe there was going to be a cabinet there, so we had to move it up. So there were quite a few things like that where just getting the placement right, but I knew we had to do it before we got to this point. So I think right now with the sheetrock, I think we're in good shape as far as the rough work. I have to say, Ray and his team, they've been very responsive as far as fixing any of the issues or just moving something because I don't like where it is. You don't have to do a change order or additional cost or anything. Ray has always said, we'll get it the way you want it before we're complete. We just say, we need to move this, or we want to do this in this room, and they get it done. And to their credit, the only additional charge I've incurred was something on the electrical panel that wasn't related to Devard. It was apparently the contractor that put in the panel did something wrong, so we had to have that fixed. In order to avoid some of the rework, that sort of thing, just make sure you have a plan before you start that everybody's agreed to. Obviously, things are going to change along the way, but some plan is better than no plan. And in our case, for a lot of the rooms, we had no written plan from the architect. In fact, on the blueprint, he said, no work to be done in this area, which we kept telling him, no, we're redoing the whole electrical in the whole house. There's work in every area, but he wouldn't put it on the drawing. So that's one of the reasons we're no longer using that architect. I definitely would expect to see flooring in, at least the vinyl. Carpet might be the very last thing. Cabinets for sure, probably interior paint. We're also doing stucco on the outside of the house. They've already prepped the walls, so I'd expect at least the rough stucco to be done in the next week or two. We're getting pretty close, depending on when our next meeting is. So we could be done or we could be almost there. So I mean, a few weeks from now, I would expect the house to be 90–95% complete. Basically, if somebody walked in and didn't know any better, they'd say it was done. Maybe there's some small things that need to be taken care of, but just about livable, you know.